or harm the legitimacy of the missions or affect their action. So, colleagues, whilst taking account of these emerging challenges, the Council and these subsidiary bodies must increase their efforts to make better use of the benefits of AI. The AI technologies have potential to provide valuable support, for example, to the monitoring of embargoes or to peacekeeping operations as they implement their mandates. In conclusion, France is prepared to contribute to the work of the Council to make progress for the responsible use of AI for the good of international peace and security. I thank you. I thank the Permanent Deputy Representative of France for your statement.
To the representative of Sierra Leone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sierra Leone thanks the delegations of Greece, France, and the Republic of Korea for convening this important Arria-formula meeting, co-sponsored by Armenia, Italy, and the Kingdom of Netherlands. We also extend our appreciation to today's briefers for their insightful contributions. Artificial intelligence holds immense potential to support international peace and security when developed and applied ethically. If harnessed responsibly, AI can assist in addressing some of the root causes and consequences of conflict, including terrorism, food security, climate-related disasters, and fragile governance. AI is also susceptible to misuse. It must be developed and deployed in a manner that fully respects international law, including international human rights and humanitarian law, and is guided by ethical principles that place human dignity, agency, and equity at the center. In particular, we are concerned about the implications of generative AI in spreading disinformation, amplifying hate speech against women and minorities, and enabling cybersecurity attacks and information operations that erode trust in democratic institutions and public order. Improper or malicious uses of AI, including the creation of deep fakes or synthetic media, pose real risk to electoral integrity, freedom of expression, and the right to self-determination under the UN Charter. The use of AI to conduct surveillance or to repress dissent, including by non-state actors and armed groups, can further threaten national and international peace and security. From a security perspective, the development of AI-powered autonomous weapons and robotic systems, if acquired by terrorists or transnational criminal networks, could have destabilizing consequences, especially in fragile regions or conflict-affected states. The absence of human oversight in such systems also raises profound moral and legal questions. At the same time, we recognize the opportunities that AI can provide to strengthen peace efforts. AI can support enhanced decision-making, early warning, and predictive analysis for conflict prevention and humanitarian response. It is already being used in some contexts to monitor ceasefires, detect patterns of violence, and help humanitarian agencies coordinate relief more effectively. AI-driven tools can also aid in combating trafficking and organized crimes. For these reasons, Sierra Leone affirms the African Union's position that artificial intelligence must be governed by frameworks that are open, inclusive, equitable, and trustworthy. The AU's Continental Artificial Intelligence Strategy and the African Digital Compact adopted in 2024 are timely and visionary. They emphasize responsible AI development aligned with regional needs and ethical imperatives. At the AU's Peace and Security Council meeting held on 19 March 2025, African member states reiterated the need for multilateral action to ensure AI promotes peace, security, and sustainable development on the continent. At the national level, Sierra Leone has taken proactive steps. We are a party to the Malabo Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection and have developed a national cybersecurity strategy that aligns with regional and global digital governance norms. This strategy emphasizes safeguarding digital infrastructure, regulating data access, and ensuring digital technologies do not become tools of exploitation or instability. We are also in the process of developing a national artificial intelligence framework with a focus on ethics, inclusion, and peace-oriented innovation. This framework aims to strengthen national institutions' capacity to understand, govern, and responsibly deploy AI. With the above said, Mr. Chair, allow me to share 4 key recommendations. First, in line with the interdisciplinary and multi-stakeholder approach of the Global Digital Compact and the Pact for the Future, we encourage international organizations to deepen engagement with governments, peace builders, civil society, academia, and the private sector to co-design AI systems that are tailored to promoting peace, development, and resilience, especially in post-conflict settings. Second, there is a need to establish global norms and principles that hold both states and non-state actors accountable for developing and deploying AI systems with foreseeable risk of undermining peace, fueling conflict, or violating international law. This must include safeguards against militarization of AI, as well as accountability for misuse. Third, we are concerned that much of AI development and regulation remains concentrated in a small number of countries and private entities. We call on the United Nations to lead in shaping an inclusive and equitable governance architecture that addresses this imbalance. Measures must be taken to avoid entrenched digital inequality, algorithmic bias, and the concentration of AI capabilities in ways that exclude the global south. The Pact for the Future rightly emphasizes capacity building, technology transfer, and equitable access as prerequisites for shared digital progress. Investing in AI literacy, digital skills, and ethical innovation ecosystems in developing countries is essential for preventing asymmetries that could widen geopolitical or digital divides. Fourth, despite the rapid uptake of AI technologies, there is a clear lack of empirical data on the extent and impact of AI applications in conflict settings. Sierra Leone calls for a comprehensive global mapping and risk assessment of AI use in military and peace and security domains to inform appropriate regulation, safeguards, and cooperative frameworks. Mr. Chair, Sierra Leone also urges that all AI development be rooted in fundamental principles of transparency, fairness, inclusivity, accountability, and respect for human rights. Those designing the most advanced AI models must be vigilant in addressing algorithmic bias and discriminatory outcomes. Governments, developers, and civil society must work in partnership to ensure that new capabilities are aligned with the UN Charter and the Sustainable Development Goals. There is a fragile line between peace and instability. We believe that digital and emerging technologies, if governed with care, can help countries like ours build resilience and anticipate risk. But if left unregulated or monopolized, These same tools could magnify insecurity, misinformation, and inequality. In conclusion, Mr. Chair, Sierra Leone reaffirms its commitment to working with member states, regional bodies, and the UN system to ensure that artificial intelligence becomes a force for peace and progress, not polarization or conflict. Let us seize this moment to build inclusive global governance for the digital age, where innovation supports humanity and technology reinforces the foundations of peace. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Sierra Leone for her statement, and now I give the floor to the representative of Somalia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At the outset, I would like to thank Greece, France, and the Republic of Korea for organizing this timely and important Arria-formula on harnessing safe, inclusive, trustworthy AI for the maintenance of international peace and security. I extend our appreciation to Armenia, Italy, and the Kingdom of the Netherlands for their co-sponsorship. I also thank the briefers for their insightful and valuable contribution. Breakthrough advances in artificial intelligence we are witnessing offer great opportunity for transformation and development. These opportunities, however, will only be realized if AI is governed in a manner that is truly inclusive and equitable. For Africa and for the developing world, AI is not merely a technological advancement, but a potential catalyst for leapfrogging development challenges and addressing pressing needs in healthcare, education, agriculture, and governance. The current trajectory of AI development raises important questions about who benefits from these technologies and who shapes the rules that govern. While international initiatives on AI governance are advancing rapidly, we must ensure that these efforts do not widen existing technological and development gaps. Mr. Chair, when we discuss safe, inclusive, and trustworthy AI, we must acknowledge that inclusivity begins with the governance process itself. True inclusivity means ensuring that international frameworks for AI are co-created with meaningful input from development nations. To that end, we offer the following recommendations. First, the initiatives supporting open, inclusive, and trustworthy AI must prioritize mechanisms for technology transfer and knowledge sharing that address local priorities while following global standards for responsible use. Second, the Security Council and the broader UN system should ensure that discussions about AI governance include dedicated pathways for participation by developing nations. Third, we propose that the establishment of an AI knowledge exchange initiative specifically designed to bridge the gap between technologically advanced nations and developing states. This initiative would facilitate not only technological knowledge transfer, but also exchange of perspectives on ethical framework, regulatory approaches, and policy best practices. The recent adoption of the General Assembly's Resolution 79-239, affirming that international law applies to AI systems, along with the establishment of an independent international scientific panel on AI governance, are welcome development. Mr. Chair, in conclusion, the potential use of AI to contribute positively to international peace and security is significant. As the international community works to harness AI for the maintenance of international peace and security, we must ensure that the benefits of these technologies are universally accessible and that governance frameworks reflect global diversity of thought and experience. We call on all member states to join us in creating an inclusive approach on AI governance that recognizes the unique perspectives and needs of all nations. Only then can we truly harness the power of AI for the benefit of all humanity. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Somalia for his statements, and now I give the floor to the Deputy Permanent Representative of the Republic of Korea.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation to Greece for organizing this important discussion on AI and its implication for international peace and security. I also extend my gratitude to the briefers for their valuable insights. As highlighted in this concept note, numerous initiatives have been undertaken to ensure the responsible application of AI. From my country's perspective, we hosted the AI Seoul Summit last May and the Re-AIM Summit last September. Building on these efforts, we co-led the adoption of the first Committee Resolution 79/238 alongside the Kingdom of the Netherlands. This year, in order to advance and deepen discussions on the responsible application of AI in the military domain, Republic of Korea, together with Spain, the Netherlands, and the regional co-host, in collaboration with the UNIDIR, will co-organize a series of Re-AIM regional consultations across different regions in this May and June. We look forward that these discussions will serve as a meaningful contribution to the third round of the Re-AIM Summit in Spain this September. Reflecting on this initiative, I'd like to highlight the 3 points. First, we have seen significant progress in shaping our understanding of AI and its responsible use. Earlier discussions about AI were often dominated by fears of an AI apocalypse, with some advocating for regulation akin to that of the nuclear weapons. However, through continued dialogue, we have reached a more balanced perspectives. AI is neither inherently catastrophic nor entirely benign. AI is an enabling technology with both potential risks and opportunities, requiring approaches distinct from traditional disarmament or arms control that focus primarily on prohibition and regulation. Second, it is essential to operationalize principles affirmed in various initiatives such as human centricity, accountability, safety, security, and trustworthiness into action. By adhering to these principles, countries can build trust and ensure the responsible use of AI. Trust is a cornerstone for fostering international cooperation and compliance with the emerging norms in this rapidly evolving domain. Lastly, the UN, including Security Council, should actively explore ways to integrate AI to enhance mandate implementation. For example, AI can be used to monitor and analyze situations involving internally displaced persons, or to optimize humanitarian assistance and civilian protection during conflict. Additionally, predictive systems for water supply and deforestation could help identify potential sources of conflict between communities such as farmers and herders. In this regard, I'd like to introduce a Smart Camp project for peacekeeping operations, a program that my country has been actively developing in cooperation with the UN Secretariat. These initiatives employs various technologies, including AI, to enhance situational awareness and resource management efficiency. We have already launched a pilot project within our peacekeeping unit deployed to the UNMISS and eager to share our experiences and lessons once it is completed. The Republic of Korea remains committed to continuing its proactive role in addressing the broader implication of AI on international peace and security. I thank you.
I would like to thank the Deputy Permanent Representative of the Republic of Korea for his statements, and I will deliver a short statement in my national capacity as Greece. I would like to thank particularly France and the Republic of Korea, our co-organizers, as well as Italy, the Netherlands, and Armenia, for joining forces with us on this very important topic. Artificial intelligence is undeniably the most remarkable technological innovation of our times, and it's advancing so rapidly that, as the Secretary General has said, technology will never move in the future as slowly as today, creating tremendous opportunities, but also complex challenges and risks for all humanity. My country, Greece, is committed to advancing a human-centric AI agenda, emphasizing transparency, ethical use and accountability to ensure these powerful technologies enhance rather than diminish human rights and democratic principles. Dear colleagues, no one can deny the increasing interlinkages of artificial intelligence applications with the maintenance of international peace and security. We have seen so far many national, regional, and international initiatives leading to these conclusions. Very recently, in February 2025, the Prime Minister of Greece attended the Artificial Intelligence Action Summit in Paris and was one of the 27 leaders that endorsed the Paris Declaration on maintaining human control in AI-enabled weapon system, by which it committed to develop, deploy, and use AI capability in the military domain in a responsible manner in accordance with international law, to engage in multilateral dialogue and to encourage international cooperation in this field. Greece is currently preparing its national contribution to the report of the Secretary General of the opportunities and challenges posed to international peace and security by the application of artificial intelligence in the military domain by virtue of the relevant General Assembly resolution. At the same time, the Greek Defense Ministry is organizing an international crisis management conference next May, which will explore the challenges and opportunities presented by the use of AI in the military domain. Dear colleagues, the Security Council, being the primary body mandated with the maintenance of international peace and security, can no longer ignore the accumulating international consensus that is clearly reflected in many of the above-mentioned initiatives and declarations. In this way, Greece supports the idea that the country should leverage the responsible use of AI to advance international peace and security. Let me mention a few examples. Firstly, the Council could explore the integration in all peace operation mandates of provision requiring the responsible use of AI applications in a way to enhance safety and security of peacekeepers, to strengthen the protection of civilians, and to counter malicious cyber attacks, dissemination of hate speech and disinformation campaigns against peace operations. I cannot stress enough the need for all these AI applications to comply with the UN Charter and international law, including international humanitarian law and human rights law. Secondly, members of the Council should consider taking effective and realistic measures to ensure that emerging technologies and the accompanying competition does not destabilize international peace and security. In this respect, Greece takes note of the call of the Secretary General for banning lethal autonomous weapons and establishing new prohibitions and restrictions on autonomous weapons systems by 2026. My country is ready to engage in the relevant discussion for its capacity as an elected member of the Security Council. In this way, we support further discussion of those issues in the Council. Dear colleagues, to conclude, it is of utmost importance that the Council demonstrates unity, vision and foresight on contributing to the global efforts for harnessing safe, inclusive, trustworthy AI for the maintenance of international peace and security. We hope that today's discussion will contribute to this end. I thank you. And now I resume my capacity as chair of the meeting. And now we give the floor to our co-sponsors, starting with the permanent representative of Italy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Let me begin by thanking the delegation of Greece for convening today's Arria-formula meeting, which addresses a critical and timely topic. This initiative provides a valuable forum to deepen our collective understanding of how to effectively harness the immense potential of artificial intelligence, while also addressing the significant risks it poses to international peace and security. The transformative potential of AI spans nearly every aspect of human endeavor, from economic growth and social progress to innovation and governance. However, the deployment of AI presents a dual-edged scenario for international peace and security. On one hand, AI holds great promise for enhancing the effectiveness of peacekeeping operations endorsed by this Council. Sophisticated AI systems can significantly strengthen logistical planning, enhance the accuracy and speed of threat detection, assist in predictive analytics to prevent conflict escalation, and optimize peacekeepers' operational readiness through advanced training simulations. Nonetheless, despite these potential benefits, their integration into operational frameworks remains limited and demands increased attention and practical action. Conversely, AI technology carries profound risks, capable of exacerbating tensions, fueling conflicts, violent extremism, and radicalization through misuse or manipulation. Malicious actors may exploit AI-driven cyber capabilities to launch sophisticated cyber attacks against critical infrastructure, disrupt essential services, or sabotage democratic processes by spreading misinformation and deepfakes aimed at undermining public trust and political stability. Furthermore, the advancement and potential proliferation of autonomous weapon systems capable of operating without meaningful human oversight pose ethical dilemmas and severe security threats, fundamentally reshaping the nature and risks of modern warfare. It is crucial, therefore, that the international community actively collaborates to establish robust frameworks that ensure AI technologies are developed and deployed transparently and inclusively, including by sharing best practices. We also encourage more states to do so to ensure that military use of AI is responsible, complies with applicable international law, particularly international humanitarian law, and enhances international security. Multilateral and regional initiatives aimed at better understanding the implication of AI in the military domain are very useful. On our part, Italy is strongly engaged in the promotion of the responsible, inclusive, sustainable and ethical use of AI, recognizing the necessity of a shared commitment to a human-centered digital transformation in line with our shared democratic values and respect for human rights. As emphasized by Prime Minister Meloni in her address to the General Assembly of the UN last year, we need global governance mechanisms that ensure that technologies respect ethical boundaries and that technological evolution is at the service of humanity and not vice versa. The Italian presidency of the G7 has then translated the principles of safe, secure and trustworthy AI into concrete and actionable policies, such as the Italian presidency's decision to establish the AI Hub for Sustainable Development in collaboration with the UNDP, as well as a monitoring system of the Hiroshima Code of Conduct in collaboration with the OECD. Cooperation with the private sector, academia and civil society is essential to make sure that governance and regulatory frameworks take into account all relevant aspects of such a rapidly evolving technology. Attesting to Italy's commitment to the success of this approach, let me reaffirm our readiness to work with all member states and stakeholders to develop and strengthen the skills, processes and resources needed to adapt to a fast-evolving AI space. Together, let us forge a path towards a future where new technologies serve as a force for good, bridging divides, enhancing global security and propelling us towards the sustainable development goals in line with the spirit of the Global Digital Compact. I thank you.
I thank the Permanent Representative of Italy for his statements. And now I give the floor to the Permanent Representative of the Netherlands.
Thank you, Chair. And let me start by thanking your delegation, Greece, the Republic of Korea and France for organizing this very timely Arria-formula meeting. Artificial intelligence has groundbreaking implications for international peace and security. This is why the Kingdom of the Netherlands is honored to co-sponsor this Arria-formula meeting. At the outset, we value the steep progress the UN and the international community have made over the past years in the field of AI, especially in the civil domain. Security Council areas, General Assembly resolutions and reports such as the Global Digital Compact and the high-level advisory body on AI have brought us up to speed with the opportunities and the risks of AI. The Netherlands stresses the importance of developing AI in accordance with international law, including international humanitarian law and international human rights law. Yet, more work is needed to develop a shared understanding of the implications of AI, also in the military domain, in the context of international peace and security. With that in mind, the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea initiated a resolution on this, which the General Assembly adopted last December. The resolution mandates a Secretary General report on AIMD with Member States and stakeholder views. The report will serve as a solid multilateral and inclusive foundation for future efforts. Against this backdrop, we believe that the international community can benefit from the wide array of ongoing multi-stakeholder initiatives that discuss AI governance in a transparent and inclusive manner, as mentioned by the briefers. As an example, the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea hosted 2 iterations of the Re-AIM Summit, with the first summit that took place in The Hague in February 23. And we are looking forward to the third summit hosted by Spain later this year. Re-AIM serves as an incubator for all stakeholders to exchange ideas and best practices. The outcomes, the call to action and Re-AIM blueprint could further enrich and deepen exchanges in UN fora. Chair, the Netherlands is concerned that AI could amplify cyber attacks in scale, speed and impact, as well as manipulate information. And in the long term, the widespread dissemination of disinformation and automated cyber attacks enabled by AI could erode trust between states and within societies, which can lead to unrest and could disrupt peacekeeping efforts and operations. And this is why this body should include AI as a topic in all relevant deliberations. We have to adapt to our time. In closing, the Kingdom of the Netherlands remains committed to the responsible development, deployment and use of safe, inclusive and trustworthy AI. I thank you.
I thank the panel representative for the Netherlands for the statement, and now I give the floor to the representative of Armenia.
Mr. Chair, at the outset we would like to extend our appreciation to Greece, France and the Republic of Korea for organizing this Arria-formula meeting, which Armenia is pleased to co-sponsor. The topic of today's meeting is timely and highly relevant, as we acknowledge the importance of international cooperation in the area of safe, inclusive, trustworthy AI for the maintenance of international peace and security. Emerging technologies, including AI, are dramatically changing our world, offering huge potential for progress and playing an important role as enablers of sustainable development. Recognizing the increasing global trend of developing and advancing AI capabilities, including AI-integrated autonomous systems, Armenia emphasizes the necessity of ensuring that such advancements are regulated in strict adherence to existing international legal instruments. This approach is vital to mitigating the risks associated with the potential misuse of AI by irresponsible actors in ways that may violate international law. Armenia reaffirms that international law, particularly international humanitarian law and international human rights law, is fully applicable to the use of all weapon systems, including those incorporated AI and autonomous technologies. The military use of AI should be ethical, responsible, and contribute to the enhancement of international security. We highlight the necessity of maintaining human responsibility and accountability for the use of AI applications in the military domain. Decision-making authority must rest with human actors, as accountability cannot be transferred to machines. The human judgment remains an indispensable element in the use of force, and it is crucial to uphold the responsibility while ensuring that states adhere to international law. We attach great importance to developing the necessary frameworks to assess the risk associated with the military applications of AI, as well as to establishment of effective legal review procedures, confidence-building measures, and mechanisms for international cooperation. To this end, Armenia co-sponsored the political declaration on responsible military use of AI and autonomy and endorsed the blueprint for action document resulting from Re-AIM Summit 2024. Earlier this year, Armenia also endorsed the Paris Declaration on maintaining human control in AI-enabled weapon systems. Mr. Chair, the responsible governance and development of AI requires effective partnerships, ethical oversight, and adherence to international law. Armenia stands ready to contribute to the global initiatives, including within the UN, to advance safe and trustworthy AI technologies that support peace, security, protection of human rights, and sustainable development. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the representative of Armenia for his statement. Now we will continue the list of speakers. We have another 27 speakers in about an hour, so I think with this plea of short statements as possible, I think that everybody will have the opportunity to speak. So now I give the floor to Latvia on behalf of Nordic Baltic states, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway and Sweden.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I deliver this statement on behalf of Nordic and Baltic states, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Lithuania, Norway, Sweden, and my own country, Latvia. We welcome the initiative by Greece, France, and the Republic of Korea, and the co-sponsors to organize this meeting. Artificial intelligence is transforming all dimensions in human life. It has the potential to drive scientific breakthroughs, unlock economic opportunities, and fast-track progress towards achieving the SDGs. Considering its cross-cutting implications, AI must be developed, used, and governed responsibly, and in the interest of all, in a way that respects human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. Adequate global norms and standards on AI are necessary to ensure that innovation supports and not undermines global security. We need to continue structured discussion at the Security Council, as well as in other relevant UN bodies, as mandated by the Pact for the Future, to deepen common understandings and agree on rules and principles as necessary. We welcome the ongoing consultations on a global dialogue on AI governance and establishment of the independent international scientific panel as agreed in the Global Digital Compact. Consultations should build upon relevant international initiatives, including recent summits in Paris, Seoul, and Bletchley Park. Let me outline 3 key principles regarding these deliberations. First, our approach to AI must be guided by and in line with existing international law, including international humanitarian law and international human rights law. Human rights must be respected, protected, and promoted, online and offline. Second, AI has to be human-centric. Human oversight, control, and accountability has to be preserved across its life cycle to mitigate safety and security risks. Of particular concern to us is the potential of detrimental impact of AI on information integrity and its use for information manipulation. We need to seek ways how AI itself can assist efforts to counter disinformation. Third, potential application of AI in the military domain demands particular attention. In addition to misuse, there are risks related to inter alia, unpredictability, data bias, and the lack of accountability of AI systems. That said, AI can offer benefits such as improved response to cyber attacks, protection of civilians, and early warning, which is also relevant for UN peacekeeping. There is potential for AI to assist arms control and disarmament verification efforts. It is essential to conduct a thorough assessment of all aspects of the military applications of AI. The Council has a crucial role to play. Mr. Chair, an important track is related to the issue of the lethal autonomous weapons system, called LAWS, in particular within the group of governmental experts of the CCW. We must clarify how IHL applies to laws to ensure that the development and use of laws is fully compliant. Furthermore, we support multilateral initiatives to define wider principles and norms for responsible military use of AI, including through the REAIM summit process. We are looking forward to summit in Spain to advance this discussion, especially on lethal and ethical considerations. To conclude, our countries are committed to safe, inclusive, and trustworthy AI as a step towards a future where technology reinforces our collective pursuit for peace and security. I thank you.
I would like to thank the representative of Latvia on behalf of Nordic Baltic states, and I give the floor to the representative of the European Union.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have the honor to speak on behalf of the European Union and its member states. The candidate countries North Macedonia, Montenegro, Albania, Ukraine, the Republic of Moldova, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Georgia align themselves with this statement. Mr. Chair, let me first thank you and the organizers of today's meeting, as well as the briefers, for their contribution. Emerging technologies, notably AI, and autonomy in weapon systems are already reshaping the landscape of conflict. The EU considers it imperative that we address these challenges by establishing principles, international norms and regulations anchored in human rights. to ensure the responsible use and development of such technologies. Last September, we adopted the Global Digital Compact as part of the Pact of the Future. The GDC serves as the first ever comprehensive framework on digital governance and digital cooperation at the global level. Following that significant step, the EU remains determined to keep analyzing the applications of AI and other new technologies to achieve a balance between advantageous uses and the need to mitigate negative impacts in certain domains, including cybersecurity. We underline our commitment to uphold the international rules-based order in cyberspace and encourage its adherence, implementation and further development in line with international human rights and international humanitarian law. And with that in mind, we support cybersecurity capacity building to ensure that all responsible states can implement the framework of responsible state behavior in cyberspace. The EU also encourages further engagement in dialogue and cooperation to address opportunities and challenges presented by AI in the military domain. We support efforts to exchange best practices and foster a common understanding of the legal and ethical implications, and we welcome recent international and regional initiatives. In this respect, let me recall that all EU member states are signatories to the RE-AIM Blueprint for Action. We consider the RE-AIM process a success with its multi-partner approach, involving governments, militaries, industry, NGOs and researchers. And we thank Spain for taking forward the RE-AIM process, launched by the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea. We also thank France for hosting the Paris AI Action Summit earlier this year in February. Finally, Mr. Chair, a word on lethal autonomous weapon systems, laws. States bear a fundamental responsibility to ensure that the development, production, deployment and use of emerging technologies in this area must be in compliance with international law, in particular international humanitarian law. And the EU emphasizes that human beings must make the decisions with regard to the use of lethal force, exert control over lethal weapon systems that they use, and remain accountable for decisions over the use of force in order to ensure compliance with international law, in particular international humanitarian law, also taking into account ethical considerations. And I thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank the Deputy Head of Mission of the European Union for her statements, and I give the floor to the representative of Switzerland.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank you, and I thank the co-sponsors for convening the meeting, on all of those who contributed to the discussion. The technological and scientific developments are having a profound impact on international peace and security. General artificial intelligence is a highly autonomous form of AI and could, within a few years, match or exceed human capacities in most or all economically valuable cognitive tasks. It is therefore essential that the Council takes this into account. Last October, under the Swiss presidency, the Council adopted a presidential statement aimed at better integrating the impact of scientific developments on international peace and security. We therefore welcome this meeting today, which aims to anticipate the impact of AI on the work of the Council. Switzerland would like to underscore three following points. First, artificial intelligence is developing rapidly and becoming increasingly accessible. However, it operates within a well-defined framework, that of public international law, including the United Nations Charter in its entirety, international humanitarian law, and human rights law. This framework applies fully to AI, as we have repeatedly emphasized. Throughout two exhibitions that we organized with the ICRC, the Digital Dilemmas and Deepfakes, Switzerland has used its Council presidencies to raise awareness of digital risks such as disinformation and online hate speech, while exploring how AI can help mitigate them. Second point, the multilateral system must not shy away from these developments, must fully exploit the constructive potential of AI. The Secretary General's UN 80 initiative for institutional reform provides an opportunity to integrate new technologies for peace in the work of the United Nations. AI can support this work, whether in peacekeeping operations or in the analysis of Council debates. We would also like to highlight the important contribution of UNIDIR's work in this area. And finally, we must ensure inclusive governance of AI. Last week, Switzerland signed the Council of Europe Convention on AI, which sets binding standards for transparency and non-discrimination. This convention, which was facilitated by Switzerland, aims to reconcile innovation with the protection of fundamental rights, democracy, and the rule of law. We are also actively involved in UN processes to promote better global governance of AI. This includes our participation in discussions on the responsible use of AI in the military domain and its implications for international peace and security. We advocate for greater international engagement to develop a robust and inclusive governance frameworks. The Council's discussions should build on these efforts without duplicating them. Switzerland is convinced of the importance of the Council's systematic consideration of these developments in order to anticipate threats to international peace and security and to define appropriate political responses. We will continue our engagement in the framework of existing international processes. I thank you. I thank the Deputy Permanent Representative of Switzerland for his statement.
Representative of Japan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me begin by expressing my gratitude to you for convening this important meeting. The responsible use of AI is fundamental to supporting the maintenance of international peace and security. We therefore welcome this Arria-formula meeting. We share a common understanding that AI brings both opportunities and risks. It is necessary to mitigate these risks in order to leverage AI to its full potential and to ensure its security and trustworthiness. In this regard, I'd like to touch upon 3 points which Japan thinks critical to discuss AI. First, it is essential to make certain the rule of law prevails and take appropriate measures throughout the entire life cycle of military AI capabilities. In particular, upholding human-centered principles and ensuring compliance with international legal obligations, particularly IHL. There is an urgent need to deepen the discussion and enhance international cooperation to ensure responsible use of AI in the military domain. In this context, we would like to express our support for relevant initiatives with a view to ensuring international security, stability, and accountability in accordance with international law obligations, including REAIM, Responsible AI in Military Domain, and Political Declaration on Responsible Military Use of AI and Autonomy. We also believe that a group of governmental experts of CCW should continue to play a central role to establish rules for lethal autonomous weapons system. At the same time, we are engaging in relevant discussions in UN to make sure that various initiatives related to AI applications in the military domain develop in a synergistic and complementary manner. Second, the rule of law and human security should serve as the foundation for the responsible development of the use of AI in wider areas, in particular when we face serious challenges of disinformation, which destabilizes international relations and pose threat to human rights. Third, we welcome the efforts by the relevant UN organs to utilize AI for mediation and peace-building activities, as well as peacekeeping operations. Also, we believe that there is great potential for AI in the work of UN related to peace and security, including early warning system for conflicts, sanction implementation monitoring, and counter-terrorism activities. Mr. Chair, let me conclude by emphasizing that the Security Council needs to continue systematically consider the impact of scientific and technological developments on international peace and security. Japan hopes that this Arria-formula meeting will contribute to raising awareness and deepening understanding about these challenges. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Japan for his statements. Ahora doy la palabra al representante.
I now give the floor to the permanent representative of the Dominican Republic. Thank you, Chair. Allow me to begin by thanking you and the countries that have organized this important meeting. There's no doubt that AI is an emerging technology, and it's had an important effect on areas such as health, the economy, the automating of processes and decision-taking, etc., etc. However, to the same extent, this does throw up challenges with regard to access to relevant information, loss of employment, access to the labour market, and other ethical questions. Here, DR has adopted laws on e-commerce, for example, technology crimes. We also have a national AI strategy where we've included the principle of ethical governance and transparency and the ethical responsible use of this technology in the public administration. With regard to ethical governance, we'd like to inform you that the Dominican Republic will be headquarters for the third meeting on ethics in AI in Latin America and the Caribbean, a meeting to be held in October of this year to have a debate on ethical governance. This ministerial meeting will aim to strengthen regional leadership and follow on from the 2023 summit. The commitment of my country is to promote policies aligned with the ethical guidelines of UNESCO on AI, and that's an organization that also co-sponsored this event. And as part of international cooperation on various occasions, the Dominican Republic has stressed the importance of strengthening the development of AI capacity, particularly for developing countries to help achieve the SDGs. Chair, the use of AI in the military domain should be an essential part of our agenda. Particularly with regard to the autonomous weapons and robotic algorithms. This represents new changes with regard to the use of these weapons and the threat to international peace and security. Here we welcome the efforts undertaken in the group of governmental experts on autonomous weapons to bring about consensus on the use of AI in military applications. And we feel that that is reflected in the Paris Declaration to ensure that human control is maintained over these systems. Chair, given the importance of this subject and the impact that it can have on global peace and security, the Dominican Republic welcomes the holding of discussions to prepare a treaty on autonomous weapons that will make it possible to regulate and supervise these systems and take into account the humanitarian issues related to the use of these kinds of weapons. And finally, the Dominican Republic reiterates its commitment to the principles that we share with regard to global peace and security, and we support the development of an AI that will ensure the well-being of humanity. Thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of the Dominican Republic for his statements. And now I give the floor to the permanent representative of the United Arab Emirates.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to begin by thanking the permanent missions of Greece, France, and the Republic of Korea for organizing today's Arria-formula meeting. I also thank Special Secretary Mastrogeorgiou and the other briefers for their contributions. The rise of artificial intelligence is transforming more than just our daily lives. It is shattering old paradigms and forcing us to rethink traditional approaches to maintaining international peace and security. On this occasion, the United Arab Emirates would like to share 3 points on how we can harness the extraordinary promise of this technology while minimizing the risks. First, harnessing safe, responsible, and trustworthy AI requires enhanced international cooperation, which ensures trust between global partners and helps to develop confidence-building measures while strengthening the capacities of states. Capacity-building partnerships between governments, the private sector, and academia must also be leveraged to deliver responsible knowledge-sharing, training, and technical support. Such initiatives must be inclusive and ensure the full, equal, and meaningful participation of women. Investing in women's AI knowledge and expertise will further strengthen their critical role in shaping AI-driven peace and security solutions. This is why in November 2024, the UAE hosted a training program for female policymakers and practitioners specifically to equip them with the knowledge and skills they need to become leaders in cybersecurity governance and cyber diplomacy. Second, utilizing AI within decision-making systems for peacekeeping and peacebuilding operations is more crucial than ever. The integration of these tools holds significant promise for enhancing our ability to protect civilians and maintain peace and security in accordance with international law. As a force multiplier, AI tools can improve military and security domain awareness and complement human decision-making. These tools can analyze and contextualize vast quantities of data and rapidly assess threats, as well as provide possible strategic and tactical solutions. They can also boost cost-effective interoperability, operational efficiency, and security, particularly in volatile environments. With that said, we must proceed cautiously. AI systems supporting UN peace operations need to be safe, secure, and trustworthy, and avoid perpetuating bias. Third, safeguarding information integrity must be a top priority when leveraging AI for good. We should not underestimate the potential for the misuse of AI to manipulate information and generate harmful content that could undermine UN peace operations. At the same time, AI can also help detect, analyze, and respond to these challenges by monitoring online content in real time and providing early warning of information-related threats, including coordinated mis- and disinformation campaigns. AI can also be leveraged to enable proactive responses that maintain the credibility of peacekeeping and peacebuilding efforts. In this regard, AI tools can strengthen the implementation of Security Council Resolution 2686 on tolerance, peace, and security, and assist UN peacekeeping and special political missions in their monitoring and reporting of hate speech, racism, and acts of extremism. Mr. Chair, none of us in this room can fully predict what the future holds for AI, or perhaps more importantly, what AI holds for our future. Nevertheless, it is our firm belief that by working together, we can ensure that AI becomes a powerful tool for preventing conflict, promoting stability, and building a more peaceful world for all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank the Permanent Representative of the United Arab Emirates for his statements, and now I give the floor to the Chargé d'Affaires of Croatia.
Thank you, Chair. And we thank the permanent missions of France and the Republic of Korea, as well as co-sponsoring missions for organizing this meeting, as well as the briefers for their valuable insights. The rise of artificial intelligence in international peace and security presents both immense opportunities and significant risks. The same AI technologies that can predict disease outbreaks, optimize humanitarian aid distribution, and detect ceasefire violations can also enable autonomous weapons, supercharge disinformation campaigns, and exacerbate global inequalities. The international peace and security architecture we have built over decades is being tested by technologies developed over mere years. As these technologies grow increasingly powerful, we find ourselves in a critical juncture that demands immediate, coordinated action. Furthermore, because AI systems impact fundamental rights or international security, their development cannot occur in the shadows, nor can regulation be an afterthought. Nations have the right to understand and safeguard against technologies that could impact their sovereignty and their stability. Our actions, therefore, today shape the world for generations. To responsibly harness AI for global peace and security, 3 measures come to mind. 1. Clear ethical guidelines and standards for AI's use in security contexts to ensure accountability and trust. 2. Inclusive governance and legal frameworks to provide transparency and prevent misuse. And 3. Mandatory impact assessments for high-risk AI systems, alongside international cooperation to mitigate threats and maximize benefits. Croatia recognizes digitalization, including AI, as a priority. For us, addressing risks is not a barrier to innovation, it is its safeguard. We actively foster cooperation among governments, academia, industry, and all relevant stakeholders to create a responsible AI ecosystem. By setting clear boundaries, we can cultivate an environment where AI advances safely, without sacrificing security for speed. Above all, AI must be rooted in human rights, freedoms, and values, ensuring it serves humanity rather than becoming merely a monument to machine efficiency. A proactive, collaborative approach is our best path forward to harness AI's transformative potential while securing a more peaceful world. I thank you, Chair.
I thank the CDA of Croatia for his statement, and now I give the floor to the Permanent Representative of Portugal.
Thank you, Mr. President, and let me start by thanking Greece and also France and the Republic of Korea for convening this Arria-formula meeting. The topic is pressing for several reasons. First, the challenges. The fast-paced advancement of artificial intelligence presents diverse challenges for both peace and security. AI will likely reinforce the destabilizing effects of existing advanced conventional capabilities, increasing the speed of warfare and compressing the due decision-making timeframe. Second, the uncertainty of the impact of AI on a strategic level as geopolitical tensions increases. This negative dynamic as the race to develop AI-enhanced weapons can hinder international efforts towards peace and stability. Also, the convergence of AI with developments on biology, quantum and cyber technologies is of high concern. Third, the potential for military purposes and also in the civilian domain. Regarding its military use, despite obvious benefits, the impact of the current AI capabilities may hinder a state's sense of security by lowering the threshold of armed conflicts and causing the risk of heightening the escalation of warfare. We support a two-tier approach that structures the debate into, on one level, discussions about the prohibition on certain types of autonomous weapon systems, and on another, to formulate regulations for those types of autonomous weapons systems that would not be covered by a prohibition. The civilian adaptation of AI also presents several risks, such as accidental risks, as generative AI could create a trust deficit and might undermine democratic systems. Misuse risks that can arise from harmful, unintended applications of AI, such as deepfakes and AI-enabled cyber attacks, and structural risks with broader impacts, such as the openness of AI technology leading to its widespread proliferation. Mr. President, these elements demand a concerted effort to establish a global governance framework that fully enables monitorization, verification, enforcement and compliance of AI technology. Let me underline the significant steps already taken. The adoption of the Global Digital Compact as part of the Pact of the Future, the first ever comprehensive framework on digital governance and digital cooperation at the global level. The ongoing negotiations for the establishment of an independent scientific panel on AI and global dialogue and on AI governance. The two UNGA resolutions on AI, UNESCO's recommendation on ethics of AI, and the endorsement of REAIM Summit's Call to Action 2023 and its Blueprint to Action 2024, as well as the US Political Declaration on Responsible Military Use of Artificial Intelligence and Autonomy. Portugal is co-sharing with Canada its working group on accountability, which focused on the human dimension. More recently, within the AI Action Summit in France, Portugal endorsed the Paris Declaration on maintaining human control in AI-enabled weapons systems. To conclude, Mr. President, AI increasingly affects all of us. Capabilities once hardly imaginable have been emerging at a rapid, unprecedented pace, at a time of great political tensions, bringing ethical, political and legal issues that need a clear common minimum understanding from the global community. A responsible behavior, a humanistic approach to the military use of AI in accordance with international law, and a meaningful human control along the entire life cycle of AI-enabled systems is of essence. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the Permanent Representative of Portugal for his statement, and now I give the floor to the Permanent Representative of Timor-Leste.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for granting me the floor, and to Greece, French, and Republic of Korea for convening this Arria-formula meeting. Mr. Chair, artificial intelligence represents a transformative force with unparalleled potential to drive human progress and societal development. In recent years, an international consensus has emerged advocating for a digital transformation that is inclusive, human-centered, and anchored in shared democratic values and human rights. For small island nations like Timor-Leste, focusing AI initiatives on principles of openness, inclusivity, and trustworthiness is imperative. Timor-Leste underscores the importance of ensuring transparency, equity, and accountability in AI applications to mitigate risk and prevent misuse. These principles contribute to fostering international peace and security through promotion of global cooperation and knowledge shared to harmonize ethical AI standards, addressing discriminatory algorithms and biases that exacerbate inequalities and tensions, and building trust among nations, ensuring that AI is developed for collective peace rather than competition or hostility. These safeguards are essential to preventing the misuse of AI, such as autonomous weaponry, which poses serious threat to international stability. Mr. Chair, applying international law to AI provides a solid foundation for its responsible use in advancing peace and security. Within the UN system, including the Security Council, AI presents opportunities for transformative solutions, including analyzing extensive data sets to foresee potential conflicts, enabling early intervention and prevention measures, enhancing logistics and resource management for UN peacekeeping operations, reducing inefficiencies and human error, monitoring compliance with international treaties, and promptly identifying violations, supporting justice and accountability. Timor-Leste believes that the UN can lead by example in using technology for global benefit by aligning AI applications with principles such as sovereignty, non-interference, and human rights. Mr. Chair, one pressing challenge AI poses is its impact on information integrity, mainly through cyber attacks, hate speech, and disinformation campaigns. Addressing these issues requires practical responses, especially within the context of UN peace operations, such as deploying AI-driven tools to detect and neutralize cyber threats, ensuring the protection of critical systems, developing algorithms to identify and remove harmful content while safeguarding freedom of expression, utilizing AI to verify information sources and fact-check disseminated content, countering false narratives, exacerbating conflicts. Timor-Leste also recognized the importance of capacity-building initiatives in vulnerable regions, empowering local communities to counter misinformation and foster societal stability. The responsible use of AI is not merely a technological imperative, but a shared moral and ethical obligation. By advancing inclusive initiatives, aligning AI with international law, and addressing threats to information integrity, AI can become a powerful ally in promoting global peace and security. Realizing its transformative potential requires collective efforts and an unwavering commitment to our shared values for the betterment of humanity. I thank you.
I thank the Permanent Representative of Timor-Leste for his statements, and now I give the floor to the Permanent Representative of India.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to thank Greece, France, and the Republic of Korea for organizing today's meeting on this important subject. Artificial intelligence is developing at an unprecedented scale and speed, It's also being adopted and deployed very rapidly and in scale. We also know that this transformative technology is substantially impacting every aspect of human life. It is reshaping our polity, our economy, our society, and even our security. Speaking recently at the AI Action Summit in Paris, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that there is a need for collective global efforts to establish governance and standards that uphold our shared values, address risks, and build trust. India's position articulated in Paris during the AI Safety Summit and during India's leadership of the Global Partnership of AI and of the G20 highlights the need for governance and for standards to be human-centric. Governance and standards should take into account deep interdependence across borders, promote innovation, and ensure that AI is deployed for global good and in a manner that makes its benefits accessible to all, especially for countries in the global south. There are both risks and benefits flowing from the growing adoption of AI and other emerging technologies. India recognizes that the use of AI in the military domain poses ethical, legal, and security challenges. India supports collective global efforts to appropriately regulate the development, deployment, and use of AI in the military domain. These efforts should address legal and ethical concerns and the identification and mitigation of risks associated with military AI. India is committed to responsible AI in the military domain. India is developing a framework for evaluating trustworthy AI in the defense sector to address the complex challenges and mitigate risks posed by modern AI technologies. The framework is centered on 5 key principles. 1. Reliability and robustness. 2. Safety and security. 3. Transparency. 4th, fairness. And 5th, privacy. These principles provide a foundation for further discussions to appropriately regulate the development, deployment, and use of AI in the military domain. India participates actively and constructively in multilateral processes related to impact of AI on international security through the Disarmament Commission, the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, the Group of Governmental Experts on Lethal Autonomous Weapon Systems through UNGA-mandated working groups on outer space, on ICTs, and under Biological Weapons Convention, the Chemical Weapons Convention, and relevant